Coach, based on what we saw at practice yesterday, can we anticipate a change or two to your lineup?
Yeah, McEwen will go in, as well as Sogi will back up. Corpy's dealing with a day-to-day issues. You know, we wouldn't want to have to put him in that situation. So clearly, Forsey will start and Sogi will back up today.
Just to follow up, I asked you yesterday about obviously now the decision made a little bit easier to go with Anton. I'm really sorry, I'm not used to this. Just obviously a little bit easier now to go to Anton, but what do you think this start means to him coming home and playing in front of friends and family?
Well, he's born 4 hours from here. I talked to him. He's 40 people coming to the game. I know Berkey had asked me a couple weeks ago if he was going to plan on starting in Sweden, and the plan was that he would start in Sweden, but we obviously had to see how it was going, how we were playing, and how things were happening. Obviously, Corpy heard that there's no decision that he would go, and I know the guys will be ready to play for him. I know how hard he works. I know how much his teammates like him, and we're going to try and do everything we can to get this guy a win.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. On the left side, Jonathan.
Coach, John Lenquist with the Swedish Broadcast. I'm just curious about Alfie, what he brought the first game on the bench, and if you even plan on giving him more responsibility to this one. Well,
the thing was, I said to Alf, you know, this morning, you know, he was a little under the weather yesterday, so I talked to him this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, and I said, you know, what did you think of the first game? He said it was just amazing. The pace, and, you know, when you're sitting up top, watching it on TV, you kind of remember it the way when you played, and then when you're down on the ice level, you realize, you know, just how fast everything's happening and the emotions that go with it, and how quick the changes and everything are, and you know, he was really happy to be a part of that. Also, he sees things, and he's a good sounding board for me between periods, messaging. You know, he's not afraid to grab the iPad and show a guy. So, you know, he's a true Senator through and through, and he loves the Ottawa Senators, and he's going to do everything he can to help us.
Right side, second row.
Coach, you said Anton playing, that the players want to play for him. Is that something that you have to take into account when you're in a country with players from that country?
I think so. I'm a coach that tends to communicate with his players a lot. I like my players, and I think sometimes you get a little more out of a guy when he's closer to home, or when, you know, someone's there to see him, or a grandparent that's flown a long way that he hasn't seen. There is emotional ties in an 82 game schedule that sometimes give a guy an elevated boost, and I think you got to be aware of all those situations.
On the right side here, Joe.
Dakota Mermis mentioned you were a big influence on his career, like when you believed in him and Megan Oshawa there. Like, what do you remember about him and why you kind of thought he had a chance to play at this level?
I think the biggest thing for Mermi is that he had this belief. He wanted to be one player. He wanted to be an offensive player, and and then guys get stuck on points. And I just said, you're a nasty, hard defender that can move pucks, and fall in love with that. Fall in love with killing penalties, doing those things. We gave him the job, him and Josh Brown, to play against Connor McDavid in the final, and he did the job. And he went on to play against Draisaitl later on in the Memorial Cup, and he showed that he could do it on a big stage. And then clearly he's had ups and downs in his pro career. You know, he's not a huge guy, but a guy that just continues battling for every inch out there, and it's great to see. A lot of guys would, fold up, it doesn't go your way. He's a guy that just, maybe just a little belief got him over the hump.
Tim, just a question for you. Obviously, that goal was pretty unique. How much did your phone blow up with people sending you texts? And I think people want to know: can we convert you into a baseball fan now?
Yeah, it was actually a lot. A lot of people in Germany watched the game, and a lot of people I played with were texting me, and it's awesome to see all the effort they put into to be able to watch those games. And I have a lot of friends who stay up all night too when we play in Ottawa and text me after a good game. So it's always awesome to see. And I think my focus shifted right after the game, and now we gotta get back to playing good hockey and winning tonight.
Left side, second row.
Tim, what'd you think of the Rolex? And can you put one on each wrist if you have a good game tonight?
I think everybody is trying to play their A game tonight to get to watch. But in the end, I think it was a great team effort, and every single one of my teammates deserved one that night. And I think everybody played great, and especially in the first and the third period, I think we played really well. And then in OT, we kind of took over.
We have a question for Jake. the right side, second row.
Yeah, Jake, I'm just wondering, when you look at this game against Minnesota, they haven't played over here, right? Like you guys, is there a little bit of an advantage maybe that you've played a game here? You know, like the rink does seem a little bit different, the time's a little bit different. That maybe give you guys a little bit of an edge?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. They're definitely a different team than Detroit, so they're a little bit heavier. At the end of the day, though, we all traveled over here. We know not everyone's feeling 100%. You know, we're in different hotels and whatnot, so there's kind of external factors for sure, but you know, our focus right now is just within the group.
Any more questions in English? Jake, you can hop off, and we'll take one in German for Tim.
Hallo Tim, du hast ja eine bärenstarke Vorstellung gegeben, auch das Team. Ihr habt das Match gedreht in Overtime. Wie geht ihr das heutige Spiel an? Also wie wollt ihr das Momentum mit hinüber retten und wie geht's dir auch? Du hast gesagt, also fühlt sich ein bisschen müde, auch durch den Jetlag. Wie geht's dir heute?
Ja, ich glaube, wie schon gesagt, ich glaube, alle haben die gleichen Sachen. Es ist nicht nur unsere Mannschaft, alle von allen Mannschaften. Wir haben uns natürlich versucht, so schnell wie möglich an die Sachen zu gewöhnen und ist aber natürlich schwer. Ich meine, nach dem Spiel, ich glaube, viele Jungs können nicht direkt schlafen, dann bleibt man wieder wach, weil man sich eigentlich an den Rhythmus gewöhnt hat und dann, ja, man wacht halt immer so 5, 6 Mal die Nacht auf und ja, aber wie schon gesagt, ich glaube, das sind einfach Faktoren, die alle Jungs haben, egal wo man spielt und von daher müssen wir uns einfach darauf eigentlich weniger Gedanken machen. Ich glaube, das ist alles ein Mindset ist und auch wenn man sich mal vielleicht ein bisschen müde fühlt, muss man einfach die Sachen ein bisschen einfacher gestalten und ich glaube, darauf werden wir uns heute fokussieren, dass wir einfach unser Spiel spielen und ich glaube, dann wird alles von alleine kommen und das Momentum mitnehmen vom letzten Spiel. Ich glaube, es hat gezeigt, dass wir einen starken Mindset haben, dass wir dann im dritten Drittel nochmal rausgekommen sind, obwohl wir 4-0 geführt haben und dann das 4-4 kassiert haben, dann war das Momentum viel mehr eigentlich auf deren Seite, aber es zeigt, dass wir eine starke Mannschaft haben, dass wir dagegenhalten können und ja, ich glaube, wir haben gezeigt, dass wir gegen jede Mannschaft gewinnen können.